differences because they can get to know me, and I like having friends, so let's be friends.
This life is beautiful, and you are wonderful. Hey friends, welcome to the very first episode of So Let's Be Friends, a podcast about inclusion, love, and the beauty of differences. I am Charlotte, and I live with cerebral palsy and a rare disease. On this podcast, I will be talking with people who have disabilities, rare diseases, and who support inclusion in big and small ways. I want to share our stories, raise awareness, and show that we all belong. Today, I'm starting at home with the people who love me the most, my family. Can you introduce yourself and share your relationship with me?
We'd love to. Awesome.
Yes.
Who do you want to start with?
Harrison.
Awesome.
I'm her little brother. I'm 13 years old. I love to run, and I have cerebral palsy.
Awesome. Good job, buddy.
Now,
That's a tough word, huh?
That is a hard word.
Now, Caroline.
I am her little sister, and I'm 16 years old, and I love to play piano and sing, and I also have cerebral palsy too.
Excellent.
I'm
Awesome.
Kalisha. My siblings call me Kika. Most of my friends call me Kika too. But I'm Charlotte's other little sister. I'm the typical one. But what is typical?
That's normal.
Definitely don't use normal.
I love to sing, and I love music. I love playing the piano. I love being outside and being with my family and working with horses. I am going.
We just chased the horses. They just got out, so that's really funny.
I am going to be going and serving people over in Germany for a year and a half on a mission. So I'm very excited to do that.
Awesome. Thank you. Who else? Want me to go next? You want us to introduce ourselves?
Yes.
Okay, and then we'll go into the interview. So I'm her mother, and I'm very honored to be her mother, and I love my children. They're my world and my husband. And I love art, and I love sports, and I just love to be with my family. And we like to work hard and play hard. That's kind of our motto.
I'm Dad. I'm Lauren. I love my family. It's the biggest thing that I love. I also love being outdoors. I love sports, outdoor sports, indoor sports, everything sports. And I love hanging out with my family. Like I said before, they're my world, and we're very excited to share our experiences.
And we have two big brothers, and they're not here with us today, and we're hoping that they'll get to be on the podcast with us soon. We adopted them when they were 14, and they're 31 now, and they have their own kids and their own families. So
We'll get to hear their story later.
yep, we're excited to introduce them when they can be here. So awesome.
Definitely.
I am an Aunt Charlotte.
That's something
A
pretty
niece
special.
and a nephew.
A niece and a nephew. We love it. Awesome. All right, so let's move in. You wanted to interview Mom and Dad first?
Yes.
Okay, so
I would like to start with my mom and dad. What were the early days like when you first noticed something different?
Wow. 21 years ago, when our little Charlotte was born. It's hard to know all the different things to say. You know, it started out with a bang. She was not easy to get into the world. Thanks to my beautiful wife, she made it. And
we had an emergency C-section. It was pretty scary. Both of us were almost gone.
Almost died.
you know, being in the hospital for a couple extra days between Mom and Charlotte recovering, and then as we brought her home, she just cried a lot for a while. She really cried a lot.
It was because she was in a lot of
She
pain.
was, well, it turned out she was in a lot, we were brand new parents and we didn't know everything. And Charlotte was completely in a backward C.
Her head touched her bum.
She was just back and she just cried most
Arched
of the time.
back against
Just a
his
couple of
chest.
days old. And, us not knowing exactly what to do, we eventually...
Well, the hard part is when she was in the hospital, her eyes were doing funny things. And I kept noticing it and I kept mentioning it, but they just told me I was a new mom and it just got written off right away. So that part was a little bit hard. But then...
And looking back, there was things that we noticed that, that we didn't know then, but we notice now about in the hospital. And so when her body wasn't relaxing and she was just crying, I actually contacted my uncle, who's a chiropractor.
Well, doctors didn't know what to do. They told us to reach out to a chiropractor, which was really interesting.
Yeah, and I
For a
have an
3-week-old baby, yeah.
My uncle is a chiropractor. I reached out to him and to try to get recommendations what to do, and he said, "Well, right there in your town, you have one of the best chiropractors on the whole West Coast."
Yep, Arizona.
And so we made an appointment, and it started a long relationship with him. It was good. He was very helpful to our family.
But you could hold her by her feet, and she hung backwards like a J. Her head was up towards her bum, backwards, and he could hold her, and he did work on her at 3 weeks old, and that's where our journey started, with her just little and unhappy, and she was just in a lot of pain, and so...
And the doctor, he didn't mix words, but he said this was the first time
The
he'd ever...
jumping doctor.
When Charlotte went in there for the first time, this was the first time he'd ever adjusted a baby, and the baby was crying before he adjusted the baby, and then afterwards was better.
She was more relaxed.
Usually it was the opposite because, chiropractic can have some
That's so true.
Rough.
but she actually stopped crying because for the first time her body was able to relax. So we're so grateful for
Charlotte.
And for the doctor who was able to help her and really begun to move forward after, regular visits to the chiropractor to help her out with her body.
But the thing that's important, for the first few years of her life, she didn't know she had arms and legs, and that's kind of where it started. And we had to get the right kind of help and the right kind of support, and get to different hospitals and different doctors to find out why she wasn't developing, why her body and brain weren't connecting with each other. So it was hard, and we were new parents.
How did you first feel when you learned about my diagnosis?
Well, your diagnosis, this is a complicated question because you have a neurodegenerative disease that is still undiagnosed, but it has several, complications and problems that come along with it, such as cerebral palsy, cerebral ataxia. There's processing disorders, the mental delay, hearing impaired, eyes. There's a whole bunch of problems that have come up with the neurodegenerative disease. And we still don't have a specific diagnosis, but the first thing that comes to my mind when you ask me that question is, I remember when you were about 3 or 4 years old, and we'd done all the tricks and trying to teach you how to recognize you had arms and legs, and we worked so hard, and by the time you're about 3 or 4 years old, we got you to do your very first, how people take their 1, 2 first steps, we got you to do your very first crawl. And I was so excited at 3 or 4 years old you took your first crawl. We were still trying to figure out why you weren't developing. And I remember going to St. Joseph's Hospital working with a neurologist, and I could not wait. I was driving all the way there as fast as I could, 3 hours away, and I got there to let her know that my daughter did her first crawl. And the neurologist, and I say that kind of sarcastically because the neurologist just put me in my place immediately and said, "Aren't you not listening? I told you, your daughter's never going to walk, crawl, or get married." And I guess when you ask my question, how did I learn about the first diagnosis, that's when it hit me that I had to make changes. I had to do something different. There was still no diagnosis, but how did that doctor know my daughter wasn't going to get married? That was a pretty far jump. And I did see her crawl, and it was only 1 or 2 little movements of a crawl, but she did. And so that was the moment that it spurred in me, and I picked my daughter up, and I walked out of there, and I said, "Nope, you don't know anything. I'm going to prove you wrong." And that's where I kind of turned into a crazy mama. So I needed that moment.
Look, I'm right here.
You're right here. And
You're right here. You made
definitely
it.
Talking.
And she does like boys, so we'll see what happens here. And she's 21, so.
Well, I remember that moment as well, and I was actually coaching soccer, and so
You can't get away without tears talking about this kind of stuff.
you grow up and you have these dreams about this beautiful family, and you picture certain things, and I would never change it any other way, but there's some definitely moments where you don't know how to feel. And I was on the soccer field, under the lights, coaching varsity soccer. My wife called me like right before the game, like literally like minutes before the game. And she was sobbing pretty hysterically, able to get some words out. And she told me that story, how, that's when you kind of come to the realization that, because at that point it could just be developmental delay. Some kids develop, that's what a lot of doctors kept saying over and over. Yeah, although she'll catch up, everything will be okay. But that was kind of the moment realized that our life was going to look a little different than the average family's life.
We thought we were going to have a basketball team.
Yeah.
And we do,
We
just
pictured
differently.
soccer teams and basketball teams, and we do have all that now. It just looks a little different than what we pictured. And so, in some ways, it was hard, the hard feeling, but also sometimes, in some ways, a relief of knowing that that's our focus. And like Anna said, that was releasing the inner kraken inside of her.
Well, because
Watch out, world! Here she comes.
And after that, we got the MRIs, and we did see their cerebellum was completely deformed, and it was shriveled up. It was pretty much non-existent.
Yeah, that's where we started into.
And
the
so where do you
testing,
go?
and
Yep, where do you go from there? So,
that's-
but we could keep talking about that forever. We better move on to our next interview question because we have a lot to go, and we're excited to share. So,
How have you seen me grow and change over the years?
all right, Dad.
could spend hours on this right here.
Crawled.
She never really crawled. She learned how to roll using her head.
Flop her body. She would flop her head, flop her body, roll her
Crawl.
head, flop her body.
Roll.
And I would call for dinner, and she was literally at 3-4 years old, the fastest roller. She'd come for dinner because she was hungry. She'd throw her head, flop her body. And finally, when I finally took her, and I told the doctor, she's learning. She's learned she's had a head. I can teach her. She has arms and legs. And so that's when we kind of took off, recognizing she can find these things. So we went through tons of therapies, lots of things. It took us several years doing consistent therapies where she recognized she had arms and legs. And we can get into that another time because that's a whole nother story.
Yeah.
But she's moved forward. She's upright with forearm crutches. She got her first electric trike this week so she can be independent and get around. So she's doing lots of great things and
She's been able to
Proving
learn.
everybody wrong.
proving everybody wrong. Absolutely.
She's learned how to stand. There was a time when her even just picturing her being able to stand without help was out of the question because it wasn't even close. But now she can do that. She can walk around the house without the crutches. She can run. She runs track and different things and plays basketball without. And so she does everything. It just takes longer.
A lot of
and does it
processing.
a little bit differently, and she can learn it. And that's what we've seen change over the years is her
The process
processing
of
has
learning.
just continued to go as long as she pushes forward.
The
She-
body
she
in
learned
motion
it.
stays in motion. You keep.
Just looks a little different and takes a little longer.
Yep. Looks a little different. Takes a little longer. I like that. Perfect, huh? Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the pace. Forward is
No.
forward, no matter the pace, right?
Yes.
Awesome.
Forward is forward no matter the pace.
All right. Okay.
What has parenting me taught you about life and love?
Oh my gosh. Since you were born, you were my heart girl. You were all heart. You're all love. And in fact, we went out for ice cream tonight, and somebody saw her and said the same thing. Charlotte's just all love, and you can just feel it when you're around her. And that's what she's taught me. She's so quick to forgive. I don't think she just loves people, and it doesn't matter who you are, where you've come from, what you've done in your life. She's just quick to forgive. And she teaches me to be quick to forgive and to love life. Oh my gosh, talk about love, life, and the passion. She has so much passion for life. So we're excited. We're supporting her in this podcast because that's what she wants to do. She wants to use her heart to help others. And I just love that she just loves people so much. So thank you for teaching me that.
Yeah, and just have to echo that same thing. Love. We've had to do a lot of things for Charlotte over the years that she wasn't able to do by herself. That unconditional love that you have for somebody who truly, honestly cannot do it for themselves. It's an honor to be able to do that for them and to help them to learn it and teach it. And that's something that has taught me a lot just as a person to reach outside yourself and to love others wherever they're at and whatever they're capable of.
Thank you. What dreams do you have for me now?
I dream of Charlotte. She's going to meet somebody and get married and be a mom
Because that's what she wants.
give us grandkids.
So you can take them fishing.
So we can take them all
And
fishing
hunting.
and hunting. We love to do that stuff too together, don't we?
Yes.
Then my dream is for Charlotte to be able to fulfill her dreams. Of,
Yep, exactly. We're
No.
excited to see. So we're supporting her in her podcast to help others. And that's what she wants to do.
It was almost exactly 14 years ago that we were at an outdoor amphitheater watching a presentation, and there was a little boy on crutches in there who was able to use crutches and was able to walk afterwards. And Charlotte was just little. She was in a walker,
A gait trainer,
a
yeah,
gait
walker.
trainer walker, and she was able to get around fairly okay, not great, but okay in that walker. And
But she couldn't do the forearm crutches
she
even.
couldn't even do the forearm crutches yet. And at that point, she looked up at us and said, "Mom and Dad, I'm going to walk. I'm going to walk by my 8th birthday," which was a little less than a year later.
And that's a whole story in itself that we can maybe share at another time. But this girl has so much tenacity. Is that the right word? Just so much
Yes.
strength.
Yes.
And she's going to dig down into that dirt and claw, and she's going to go hard. And I'm just so proud of her.
Setting
She's
goals and achieving whatever she sets her heart on. In her mind.
awesome.
Why do you think a podcast like this is important?
Well, I think it's important because you think it's important. And that's one of the biggest reasons. But I'm super excited about this podcast, Charlotte, because you have worked so hard to teach everybody that everybody's equal. Everybody has a chance at life, right? And I love that. And I love one of the things
Second chances.
Yep, I love what she always says is she has her disabilities and her disabilities are seen, but everybody has different abilities and disabilities, and it's
Yeah.
hard. This world is tough and it's hard, and we just
We're
all work
not
together,
perfect.
and none of us are perfect, right?
No.
Basically, she wants to erase the gray lines in between people. We need to erase the lines and just all be friends, and that's what her goal is to teach inclusion and love and support each other, and I just think I love her vision. It's a little scary.
Yeah.
We put this off lots of times, but she finally pushed forward and
It
said, "Mom and
is.
Dad, we need to do this." So we're supporting her in this, and she wanted
Okay.
to start off interviewing the family. So
Yes,
Thank you.
We want to get to know other people, hear other people's stories, the challenges they've gone through,
and how they've overcome.
that they've overcome, and that they're still facing and still trying to figure out a way to overcome, because there's always going to be the next
It's not ending.
challenge.
Yep, it's
Never
every day,
ending.
every day.
And hopefully give people hope that you can go from not knowing you have arms and legs to running in a track meet. And,
Which
and
I
playing
will be too.
basketball and playing softball.
Yep, she'll be in a track meet this Friday with Special Olympics Unified, huh?
And
Awesome.
being able to swim
Yes.
across the swimming pool multiple times. That's what we want people to see, is that hope of
That they can do that too.
that they
Well, thank you, Mom and Dad. Now I will be moving on with my siblings, Caroline and Harrison. What is something you love about our bond as siblings?
I like that we get to play together, stay together, and work together.
We do. We work hard, don't we?
Yes.
We work hard and we play hard. You're absolutely right about that. Harrison, what do you like? What's your bond? What do you like about our family bond? What's important to you?
I like that we hang out as a family.
That we hang out as a family?
Yeah, and watch a movie.
Taking time to stop and watch a movie. I don't think we hardly ever do that. So when we watch a movie, that's a real treat.
And
Yes.
and play games together.
And play games. And we're trying to play more. We work probably more than we should. But
Yes.
no, working is good. But yes, watching a movie, that's awesome.
We all live with cerebral palsy, ataxia, and a rare disease. How does this help us to understand each other?
Yeah, go ahead and share, both of you. How does it help you to understand each other? Having a rare disease and cerebral palsy and ataxia.
It helps us understand each other by that we are both siblings and we both had the same disease, and we
It's tough, isn't it?
it is
It's tough.
I'll always remember when Charlotte had perfected the forearm crutches, which never thought would be able to happen.
And these are the forearm crutches. For those that don't know them, they're the crutches that don't go up under your shoulders. They go, you put your arms through them and grab onto the handles.
Yes.
And those are called forearm crutches.
And when Caroline was ready to graduate from her gait trainer walker, and she got her first pair of crutches, Charlotte was so excited to teach her how to do it. She was so excited, and she was able to communicate with Caroline in a way that mom and dad, that brothers and the rest of us couldn't, because they shared that bond. And she was able to teach her how to do it. She couldn't do it, and then Charlotte came over and showed her in different things. Next thing you know,
Showed her all the tricks that we didn't even know.
Using the forearm crutches. It was amazing
Magical.
to see. Magical. That moment. We'll never forget it. It was right here.
What's one thing people don't understand about living with a rare disease?
Harrison, what's hard for you about living with cerebral palsy and a rare disease? What's hard for you?
Falling all the time.
Falling all the time. That is hard. It hurts, huh?
Yeah.
And it's frustrating.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes embarrassing.
Yeah, scars on his hands right now. He fell not too long
Yeah,
ago.
he just looked at his hands when he said that. The school actually called me and asked if, and they were pretty serious about it. He's a junior high kid, and they asked me if I could send him to school with knee pads and gloves on. And I do care about his knees and I care about his hands, but I care about his mind and his heart more, his confidence more. And I just told him I can't send him with knee pads and gloves to school. That would protect his hands and knees, but his heart and mind and confidence, I think that would kill a junior high kid walking around with pads all over. So
As a 13
it is a thing,
year old.
and that is tough, Harrison. I'm so sorry, buddy.
Yeah, and if you look at all three of these kids, they have more scars than the average person because they have dared to push the limits and to walk, and they fell probably more than.
They fall a lot. We actually have to practice falling. That's a thing in our house. We have to practice
We
falling.
finally learned that you had to practice. We didn't understand that for a while.
So
But what happens when we fall? What do?
We fall back.
we roll backwards.
We roll.
Yeah, we don't want to break a tailbone. She's broken lots of tailbones falling hard backwards, right?
Without taking a shot. That's true.
We're not going to show the story now.
But what do we do when we fall down, Harrison?
We
We
get
just-
back up, huh?
Do we just lay there, or what do we do?
We get back up.
We get back up. It's hard, but we get back up, right, and keep going, huh?
We
Okay,
never
awesome.
give up.
What's a challenge you have faced and how did you get through it? And how do
you do hard things, huh?
how do
What's
you
a challenge
do
you face,
hard
Caroline?
things?
How do you do hard things? How did you get through it?
By thinking through it and just by doing it. Like couple years ago, me and my mom went through the hardest hike. It's called trek.
Oh,
That's
she went on the trek.
Yeah.
I was wondering what story you were telling. Okay, and how did that go?
It went good. It was really hard though, but we made it through it.
The trek is TREK. It's a trek. It was a reenactment of the pioneers coming west, and she hiked. I think it was like 18 miles. She hiked 18 miles with crutches
In one day,
in one day,
And they,
helping with a hand cart.
yes,
pushing a handcart, walking with crutches, and it was not a smooth walking path. It was
Walking
Through the
through
woods.
dirt, up hills,
uphills,
everything.
big boulders. It was tough, and oh my gosh, you'll have to see
Lot of
pictures. We'll have to share that
big
sometime.
and small rocks in the way?
And she did it.
did it.
And I was so proud of her. They reacted it, so she was actually wearing a dress as doing it too. So there's a lot of tripping hazards the whole way, but that was a hard time.
I did it.
That was hard.
And the most important thing, I didn't get hurt.
She did
Oh,
not
yes.
get hurt. Yes, we were very lucky. I hung on to that girl so tight. We didn't want any concussions, right?
No.
But what I love about that is it's a mindset. That's how you get through things. You just make up your mind and decide if you want to do it or not. And that's in everyday life. If you want it, like Charlotte says, you go after it. So.
What does inclusion mean to you?
What does inclusion mean to you, Caroline?
Inclusion means that everyone doesn't get left out. That if we plan an activity, we all do it as a family, so no one gets left out.
And it's not just a family, it's including schools and friends and teams, right?
Yes.
Even at the grocery store, we don't want to leave anybody out ever. We want to make sure everyone feels a part of things, that everyone's included.
Not feel left out.
Nobody should feel left out.
Nope.
That hurts, doesn't it?
It does hurt.
Yes, it does.
Harrison, what does inclusion mean to you?
What's inclusion mean? Do you like having friends to play with at school?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's nice when people want to play with you, huh? And not be left out. It's hard, yeah.
How do you find joy even on hard days, Harrison?
Even when it's a bad day, how do you find joy? What do we do sometimes as a family, even when we're grumpy on the way to school? Sometimes if we're having a hard morning and shoes, it was tough to get shoes on our feet because our bodies weren't working right. On tough days when you wake up and our bodies are not working, what do we do on the way to school that helps us out?
We sing a song.
We sing a song.
sing.
We
Or
sing.
laugh.
Everybody can be
Or laugh.
grumpy and mom's lecturing. We're trying to get in the car quickly. But Harrison will start singing and we all start singing with him. And that just changes
We all love
everything.
singing, rolling down the windows, all of that.
Yep.
We scream.
Okay, now you're telling all our secrets. All right, so Charlotte, ask that last question. What does it feel like? That's so important.
What does it feel like knowing our stories will be shared through a podcast?
We were talking about that earlier. I was asking how you guys feel about this, and we all felt it was kind of scary, right?
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but
Yeah.
we've all been nervous about it. We're sharing our stories, sharing our heart, and we're hoping it's going to help others, and we're excited to interview others, right?
Mm-hmm.
And get to share their stories. And together we can help each other out and lift each other up.
Yep.
But it's scary. So thanks for bearing with us because we're definitely not perfect at this. This is scary. So
And we are laughing.
we're laughing. That's important.
Vulnerable.
If you could tell people one thing about kids like us, what would it be?
What would it be, Caroline? If you wanted to tell people one thing about kids with disabilities or people with disabilities, what would it be?
It would be. It would be.
It's a tough one, huh?
It is.
Almost a little emotional.
What would you
Yeah.
tell somebody if they were asking how to talk to Charlotte? What would you want them to know?
I know we were talking earlier, Caroline. You said you would like people to know that it's sometimes hard to process things, and it takes you a little bit longer. Is that what you were talking about? Go
Yeah.
ahead and share that with them because that was tough for you.
I know it's tough for some people, for everybody, but especially people with disabilities, that it's hard to process.
I'm sorry, sweetheart. It is. It is hard to process. Harrison, do you mind if I share a quick story about you real quick? So Harrison has quite a bit of a stutter. His brain works really fast and he's really smart in his brain, but his brain doesn't connect with his muscles, and one of those muscles is his mouth. And so he has a stutter when it starts to talk, almost a pause, and it's hard to get out. So if you hear a little bit of a wait time when he comes to speak, that's what's happening. And at school, he's in junior high. They're going from class to class. They have 5 minutes between class. And he really had a hard time. A couple weeks ago, he said that friends aren't saying hi to him anymore at school, and that was making him really sad. And he has hearing aids, and he has a stutter, so there's two things against him. And he's also focusing on walking and trying to balance from class to class. So he's really motor planning. And what happens is a friend will say hi to him. They're all walking by really quickly. And he is trying so hard to walk, and he's trying to get that hi out with the stutter. And by the time he says hi, 10 people have already passed. And the person he was trying to say hi to is 10 people past him. And so we actually practiced walking. And we learned that Harrison, when he's walking fast, it's hard to say hi to get that word out. So he learned he waves and smiles, or he gives a high five. And what happened at school when you did that? Did things change?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was hard to process getting the words out. Well, tell the audience what happened. What happened when you did that?
It's made them happy.
Yeah. And how did it make your heart feel?
Happy.
Happy. You want to show them what we practiced?
Give
I
us
say,
your smile
hi,
and wave."
Harrison. Can you do your smile and wave? Show everybody your smile and wave. And sometimes when he does his smile and wave, I love it. The kids give him a high five too. And the last 2 weeks have been so awesome, just by recognizing what Caroline's talking about. That processing quickly from brain to that muscle is tough. And so learning a strategy that works better so he knows that he can smile and wave. That's something he processes quicker. So sorry that you do go through that, and it is hard, huh? So that's just one example.
Wait time processing and just
Takes a little bit. Yep, forward is forward, no matter the pace, right?
Yes. Amen.
All right. Now I want to talk to my little sister, Kalisha, who pretty much is the symbol of inclusion, my best friend.
Everybody thinks she's older because she's taller. So that's why she had to emphasize my little sister.
What's something you wish people understood about growing up with siblings who have disabilities?
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna cry, guys. Well, growing up with siblings with disabilities, for one thing, it isn't easy, but it isn't
No,
easy
it's
for you
not.
either. And it's a learning curve for all of us. And one thing, you just have more love and compassion for one another. You learn and understand who each person is, and that just gives you way more patience, and it has helped me as a human being. It has helped my spirit and me understand myself, because I have been blessed with siblings who love me so dearly and are so excited all the time to see me whenever I walk in the door. And that is just one thing that me as a person, I need that excitement to help encourage me. And yes, everything is a process, so everything is slower, and we just have to plan ahead, and we have to motivate each other. We play lots of music at our house.
Yes, that actually is a good point. We play lots of music. So
Yeah.
time at our house is a really hard concept. They don't understand time. But Charlotte knows that she has to get the dishes done in three songs. Like we time everything by song. So that was perfectly said. Like you have to be here for breakfast in 2 songs, right? And that's actually been huge to help them process. So a lot of times just finding how to do things differently to make our family function and tick,
Yeah.
right? I like that. That was a good thing that you brought up. Thank you.
Thank you. Kalisha, what do you love the most about me?
What do we love most about Charlotte? That's a fun question. Uh-oh.
I wonder who wrote these questions.
Yeah, I wonder who.
What do you love most about her?
My most favorite thing is just that she is my best friend, and we can go anywhere with each other. It is hard, going back to the first question, it is hard going out into the world with people, with siblings who have a disability, because people look at you differently. And it is really hard sometimes to be in crowds and to talk to people, because sometimes you just feel left out because people get into their little circles. People don't mean to do it. It's just what happens, because slower, and it doesn't really matter. People are different. People just sometimes.
Well, mostly it's people are uncomfortable and they don't know what to
Yeah.
do or what to say or how to act around someone with special needs. And so
Yeah.
it's just the unknown. And that's what
Yeah.
we're trying to do here is help people to understand and what to know. And
Yeah.
I don't know. And we don't even know exactly how we're going about doing that. But
And so my favorite thing about Charlotte is just I can always count on her to be there for me. She is always one to help lift me up, and has the sweetest soul ever. You can sing your heart out with her and just have the best time, because she is one of the most genuine people I know.
and she tells you she loves you with her eyes. You can just tell how much you're loved just by the twinkle in her eyes. So okay.
How do you think I'm changing the world?
She is changing the world. She's a change maker.
You are
that's for
changing
sure.
the world by being yourself. Because at school, you showed teachers what they said you couldn't do, and you did it.
Mm-hmm.
Even at college, all the time. You were doing math. You were doing it. You do math better than I do. And it is just.
It's taken her 5 math classes to get there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for example, in college, to get your associate, you need one specific math class that you test into. Well, Charlotte couldn't test into that math class, And so the college actually put her on the GED program. And I was really impressed, actually, how the college handled it. And she had to take 5 math classes to get her up to the level to get into that one math class. And the fact that she did that and had the courage to do that and the drive to do that, I'm blown away. And yes, she probably knows math better than I do now after 6 classes of math just to get to her associates. So that's amazing. Yes, she's changing the world. She's showing people that there's different ways to do things. It doesn't just have to be, well, you have special needs, you can't go to college. If you want to go to college, like she loves college for some reason, she's gonna figure it out. She's gonna figure out a pathway, but it's different. But she's gonna figure it out. Like she decided she wanted to get around town. She can't drive a golf cart. Even she knows how to drive a golf cart, but she can't drive a golf cart because she has to have a driver's license around town. She can't drive a Polaris Ranger around town because you have to have a driver's license. But she's practiced and learned how to drive it in low gear. But without a license, she can't drive it. She found out she can ride a bike around town without a license, and so we've done her. She did her research, and she found an electric trike.
Electric green trike.
An electric green trike. It's green. It's very important. But that's what I'm saying is she figures out a way to do what people tell her she can't do. And
she's changing the world by being in the world and not hiding away and being separated. She's included in the world, and that's how it's changing. So people can see she might do a little differently, might do a little slower, but she's doing it.
well,
We always find a way to do it, and that shows people that anything is possible.
anything is possible. It's perfect.
She was able to get down the bottom of Havasupai, and
Near the Grand Canyon, she did.
Anybody would have ever thought that she could be down there at the falls and hike the miles and miles and miles and miles and miles.
And it was hard.
miles.
13 miles with her
And it was
crutches.
hard, wasn't it?
In the dirt.
In the dirt,
In
yep.
sand.
Rocks and sand and climbing.
Yeah.
But she got to enjoy the beautiful scenery and waterfalls there,
Yeah.
and inspire others. This girl with crutches down there enjoying it, and everyone's looking at her like, "Whoa, what the?"
We went down. It was Mom, Dad, my best, our friend of ours, and Charlotte. And there is a picture of us 3. One of my best friends, one of our good family friends.
At the bottom of Mooney Falls after she
Yes.
rock climbed. Still one of the most scary moments of my life, hanging on to my daughter, trying to get down Mooney Falls in the middle of rock climbing, holding on to her without any ropes or anything, going, what the heck did I just get myself into, knowing that her life literally was in my hands. That was scary. And when we got to the bottom of that was the best feeling in the world. That was the best picture in the
Amen.
world. They
And
were
then-
cheering, hands in the air. She actually had her
Yes.
crutches, hands in the air, cheering that they made it.
Charlotte was the most motivated out of both of us. Because we both looked kind of tired. We were still excited, but Charlotte was just
She was pumped.
strong.
She was
She
pumped.
had the biggest.
Well, she has good
twinkle.
upper body, walking with
And
her
her
arms with those
smile.
forearm crutches. She's able to, that is a bonus.
We actually had that picture in our room.
Yeah.
In my
See it
room,
every day,
too.
huh?
Yeah, we see it every day, and that's proof that you can do hard things. That was scary. We thought we were actually going to die.
I can do hard things.
Excellent. Okay, last one. Ask your last question there.
What makes you proud to be in this family?
It makes me proud to be in this family because I know with our family, this family, you guys are my rock. In this family, it makes me who I am. And I am proud to be in this family because that's a hard question. But also, it makes me proud to be a part of this family because I am who I am because of you. I am a better person, and I know I couldn't be the person I am if I didn't choose to be in this family.
Thank you. And I do want to share one little story real quick, and then we'll end here because we don't want this to be too long and people to give up on our family already. But along with what Kalisha just said, it reminded me of a quick little story. Is Charlotte and I and one of her really good friends, we were going on a drive down to the valley on a girls' trip, and we were playing Truth. What is it called?
Two truths and a
Two
dare or
truths.
something?
Truth and a lie.
No, it wasn't. It was
Truth or dare?
Truth or Dare. It was Truth or Dare. Yeah, it was Truth or
Two
Dare.
truths and
I don't know. It was Truth or Dare. Let's just go there. Because I had to make 3 wishes. That's what mine was. I had to make 3 wishes, and I don't remember what my other 2 wishes were. They were just playing games, and they're having me. One of the times I was panting out, they're daring me to put my head out the window. We were driving down the road. I had to pant like a dog, and we were high on something. It was fun. Probably just high on life. Happy.
It was
Happy.
fun.
We had a good time. But then it got all of a sudden turned a really serious conversation, not on purpose, but one of the times I had to make 3 wishes, and I don't remember what I wished. The other 2 wishes were probably silly, all the money in the world, whatever we wish for, But the third wish, I was getting ready to say, I wish my daughter's disease away. And before I even could say it out loud, something prompted me and interrupted me and say, how dare you? You can't even wish that without asking your daughter. Like, that was a pure just stop. And I said, Charlotte, I want to make this last wish, but I feel like I have to ask your permission first. I don't even know why. Can I wish your disease away? And she said, do you remember what you told me? It was so powerful and so strong at the moment.
No.
She told me, Mom, you cannot wish my disease away because it's made me who I am. I wouldn't be who I am without that disease, without cerebral palsy. And that has taught me such a lesson. I can't tell you how many times I've looked back at that moment. So when Clecia said, our trials in life make us who we are. They build us stronger. Doesn't make it easier, but they build us stronger. And oh my gosh, Charlotte and Caroline, Harrison, Kalisha, you guys are my rock, and you guys are rock stars, and I'm so proud of you. My big boys, John and Austin, the things they've gone through to become the strong men they are, I'm just in awe. Anyway, we're going to stop there. I'm going to let Charlotte end her podcast, but I just really wanted to share that story of her. She wouldn't even give it up because it's made her who she is, and I just think that's incredible. So.
Okay. Thank you so much for my amazing family for sharing their hearts with me and with our listeners. I know it wasn't easy. This is just the beginning of something really special. If you're listening, thank you for being a part of this. We are excited to share more stories and more truths and more love in every episode. Until next time, love one another, and like I say, so let's be friends.